Chronicles of Nostradamus.
Greetings, people of centuries to come. Your age brings forth strange marvels. I am Michel de Nostradamus. In the frozen land of Alaska, once unknown to my own time, two great lords of the present world have met. One is named Donald, chief of the new world beyond the Atlantic Ocean. The other is called Vladimir, Grand Prince of Muscovy and heir of Holy Russia. I marvel greatly, for Alaska was not known in my days, and behold, it has become the stage for the meeting of princes. Lands of ice, of mists and silence, they were not inscribed on the maps of my century. Only by vision do they appear to me, as a far extremity of the world where great designs are woven. I wonder also at the strange names borne by your princes. For Donald, so I am told, is also the name of a jester duck from your modern fables, much beloved by the children of your time. And behold, the chief of the new world bears the same name, the animal become prince. But the other, Vladimir, bears the name of the holy Grand Duke who once baptized ancient Russia at Kiev, then the capital and mother of Rus's cities. Thus you see a wondrous contrast. On one side, a burlesque name, on the other, a sacred one. Know, my children, that the quarrel which sets aflame your northern lands was not born yesterday. Ukraine, now a battlefield, was in my day known as the Rus of Kiev, the very matrix of the Russian edifice. There it was that the peoples of the East were converted to Christ by baptism in the river Borysthenes, which you call the Dnieper. And it is for this spiritual and political cradle that your modern princes tear at one another, like heirs disputing the ancient inheritance of their father. The Grand Prince of Muscovy, guardian of orthodoxy and of Russia's sword, declares he will reclaim this Ukraine, which he calls his rebellious sister. But the peoples of the West, led by the chief Donald and the other kings of Western Europe, oppose him, invoking the independence of that land. Thus it becomes a war of brothers, which some already name a war of civilizations. Greater still is my wonder when I learned that the meeting in Alaska was held on the 15th day of August, the solemn feast of the Most Holy Virgin Mary, whom the Church honors in her glorious Assumption. Is it blind fortune or divine sign? For if the Queen of Heaven chose such a date, it was to show that she spreads her mantle over both peoples who meet, the Russians, who venerate her in icons and cathedrals, and the Americans, who still sing of her in the sanctuaries of the New World. The new Pope himself comes from that same region of the world. Thus heaven gave a sign. Despite drawn swords, despite rancor and thunders of war, there remains hope of concord, if princes and peoples remember the mother who gathers her children. But I say again, my children, every war that divides one blood, one people, one faith, can bear no fruit but tears. As once the wars of religion bathed France in blood, so now the quarrel of Ukraine bathes Northern Europe in blood. And you shall see yet more wonders, for princes will ever test their strength, now by steel, now by treaties. And this meeting in Alaska, land of ice and of mists, is a sign that the north of the world awakens, and that the polar routes shall become the pathways of power. For yes, the destiny of Europe is now played out even in the Arctic pole. As I once wrote in my quatrains, twice this vast land shall be divided, twice it shall be made whole again. The first time came after the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. After long years of civil war, union was restored along the Arctic pole, as I wrote in quatrain 6, verse 5. The Soviet Union endured 73 years and 7 months, as I indicated in my epistle to Henry II and in quatrain 6, verse 74. Then came a new division of Holy Russia. But I have seen that this division shall be but temporary. For those of the Arctic pole shall be joined together, as I wrote in quatrain 6, verse 21. And this shall be the signal for great events around the Mediterranean. As I speak to you now, you do not yet know it. Unity has not yet been restored, but it shall not delay. For it is the ineluctable destiny of Russia to unite the Arctic pole beneath her banner. This is one of the hidden purposes of that terrible war in Ukraine, but not the only one. For a united and mighty Russia must prepare the advent of the Great Monarch in the West. Quatrain 10, verse 72, gave the date of the eclipse of August the 11th, 1999. And behold, 2 days before, Vladimir Putin became Prime Minister of Russia. From that day until now, he has never left power. He still holds it today. He is there to prepare the coming of the newly chosen, the King of Dread, that same one who must restore the monarchy in France. For Angoulême once belonged Vladimir and Donald, though their names be so dissimilar, shall both play their part in this return, which shall strike terror in the mighty of this world. You will recognize the Great Monarch by this sign. Never shall so much evil be spoken of one man as of him. Know at last that no empire is eternal, no prince secure in his glory, for time devours all. Yet certain names traverse centuries and millennia. The memory of peoples does not forget them. The 2 princes of whom I have spoken belong to this second kind. Their names shall remain engraved in the soul of nations. So too shall the ancient holy city of Kiev. They remain, and they shall remain, so long as men endure to remember